Welcome to the MineSanity podcast. What's up, guys? My name's Eric, aka Azrael Eternity, and welcome to the MineSanity podcast. With me today, we have our regular cast: Gravewalker,
Heyo,
Banjo Bates,
Heyo,
and Stevie.
Hello.
Alright, so lots of things on the podcast discussion for this week. First and foremost, we have another new member that joined the server this week, SigCorps, or SigCorps, whatever you want to say it. I have his first LP episode in the Dealy Deal.
Thing down below.
link box.
Link box, yeah. Link dump. Somehow, I managed to lock myself out of my own document. It says I do not have permission to edit the document because I changed it so that you guys couldn't. Oh, I know why.
You need to log in.
I'm in control now.
No. I realized that I logged into the MineSanity Gmail. That's why I couldn't edit it. Okay. So SigCorps is a new guy. He's already done 2 LP episodes. He uploaded his second one today.
Day we're recording, at least.
Huh?
The day we're recording.
Yeah.
Not Wednesday.
The day we're recording, not the day that this is going to get posted.
Yeah.
For those of you that don't know already, we record on Tuesdays and upload Wednesdays. So, subscribe for weekly podcasts.
Yes.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. Yeah. So last week we talked about transitions. I has them. Last week we talked about Gamefly briefly, talking about the PS4 and the Xbox 720, whatever it's going to end up being called, having single owner or multi-owner and have to pay to play the second owner sort of things. And Gamefly was mentioned. Apparently Gamefly has done a lot of layoffs recently. I didn't read this post. This was one that Brandon
yeah, actually, I put this in here. Yeah, so companies like Gamefly are now really worried about how the PS4 is going to limit ownership of games and how people have to buy a second time, basically.
Actually, the Xbox 720, you have to buy an SD card for your games now.
Oh.
What now?
Yeah, that's what I've been hearing. They're like SD cards.
Interesting. Yeah, we haven't heard about that one, but yeah. So basically, Gamefly has been laying off customers, as it looks like in this article.
How do you lay off a customer? You mean lay off staff? Yeah, lay off their staff because they're losing business, basically.
They're a pretty big company.
They're a really big company. That's what's so surprising.
That'd be like Amazon laying off people.
Yeah, well, that's never going to happen. So
no.
Which actually, that actually could happen, considering. This is almost entirely off topic, but I've been looking into the whole 3D printer thing, and
3D printers.
Yeah, that if those ever go completely mainstream, that's gonna hurt quite a bit of people or quite a bit of businesses.
Especially the hipster ones that don't like mainstream stuff.
Banjo.
Oh God.
I don't think 3D printers will ever be so cheap that it'll be a public sort of thing.
That's actually not true. I read an article, 2 weeks ago, where they said in about 10 years, computers that we have today that's like mine, and it's super, just computer, will be the price of a Chromebook, which is $500?
Actually looking it up right now, just the first thing that came up, the cheapest one I see is $700.
Really?
So, yeah, there are some
Chromebooks for
cheap ones out
really cheap.
There's going to be so many 3D dicks.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of phalluses.
it's kind of like when you send a really weird picture to your neighbor's regular printer. You just send a dick to your neighbor's 3D printer.
Something crazy that we were talking about in school. This guy, he printed out parts to an assault rifle, and he actually fired 200 rounds with it.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's actually possible to print out a weapon using a 3D printer, but the problem is you can't just print it out and use it. Most of them you actually have to get a special material, a composite material that actually is metallic, and then you actually have to kiln the thing so it'll actually not blow up in your hand.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But nonetheless, it's still
that's insane being able to make a gun.
Yeah.
Screw your gun control laws.
Yeah, that's one of them things. If they ever put gun control out, okay, I got a new one.
Like, just listen to this. Like, say somebody's crazy and they're not allowed to get a gun, and they just go and buy a 3D printer and then just make a gun.
Guess how many guns they got? Infinite.
Yep.
It's going to become the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, Explosives, and 3D printers.
Everything's going downhill due to that.
You have to apply for a permit for a 3D printer.
And
screw
but
buying
you
stuff.
also have to get everything you print authorized, which takes 3 to 4 months.
But I need to print out this project now. Too bad. Government says no.
But this project is due in a week. Yeah, well, are you the government?
Okay, way off topic.
Yeah.
So,
Sorry. Worth it.
worth noting. Xbox 360 Spring Bundle revealed, but still no Xbox 720 revealed.
Yeah, I saw this article and thought, well, they're hyping up their new system and they're still selling their old system.
I think it's just to boost sales.
Probably, but I don't see why.
I'm guessing it's going to be one of them things where they're just trying to get rid of as many of these as they can before the new one comes out. Because they have so many stockpiled, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, I'm
That's,
sure.
Extract the money.
That's a good point, yeah.
But, you know, honestly, there are quite a few people who probably still don't have Xboxes or have, like I do, the old ones, and would probably be still willing to update or actually get one. And you know, they might not know about the new one is about to come out, so...
Yeah, I have to say, you know, my Xbox is getting kind of up there as far as age, because the one that I have is a 360 Elite, which was when there was, you know, the 3 different versions that they had all out at the same time. The Arcade, which is the white one that had like very little internal memory. The standard one, which is just the regular use one, and then the Elite, which is supposed to be the best one because that had a bigger hard drive and better stuff or whatever that cost an extra like $50 or $75.
I think it had a bigger hard drive and more USB ports or something like that.
Yeah, or something like that. And supposedly red ringed less, which I have not. Mine I've had for several years now and hasn't red ringed. Knock on wood.
Yeah, mine is the Arcade that I got off of a friend for $80. So nice. I'm not complaining, but
yeah.
It works perfectly fine. It just had no memory at all.
Yeah.
I actually
never red ringed, so I ain't complaining.
I actually have 2 Xboxes. One of them sitting in a corner. I think it was an Elite that we got used for like $50. And that one red ringed constantly, so we updated once the Slim came out to the Slim, which admittedly does work much better.
Do you use your Elite as a space heater?
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you guys have heard that urban legend sort of thing? The guy that used his Xbox as a space heater because it had red ringed, he left it on for 48 hours straight and realized that it had been left on. Turned it off and then left it off for 24 hours and then turned it back on and it was fully functional, no problems. The soldering that had supposedly come off and caused the red ring, the whole catastrophic system failure, got so hot that the solder melted and it somehow managed to get it fall into this place that it was supposed to be.
Wow.
And it became fully functional again. So now that guy had 2 2 fully functioning Xboxes. But that's all, like I said, that was all urban legend. The spring bundle comes with Darksiders 2, which I have not played, and Batman Arkham City.
Which is a digital copy, not a real copy.
Yes, Darksiders 2 is a physical copy. The Batman Arkham City is digital.
And actually, I find that kind of interesting because usually they do 2 digital games instead of 1 physical, 1 digital.
Yeah, or even 2. Well, whatever. The opposite of whatever you said.
2 discs.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 discs. But
it's kind of strange they're doing 1 of each.
Yeah, that's not usually what Microsoft does. Maybe they just have a bunch of codes left over from something. I don't know. But like usual, the Xbox comes with a 1-month Xbox Live token, so you can get screwed over even more. And no mention of a release anywhere but the U.S. So America for the win.
America.
Well, always looks out of luck.
Yeah. Okay, so Sony, as we were talking about PlayStation 4 last week, Sony sells one of its office buildings in Japan. The link says 12 billion, but it's actually 1.2 billion. They just didn't put a decimal.
Well, I guess they
HTML.
couldn't, but
yeah, for HTML purposes and stuff for the web address, they didn't do. But 1.2 billion dollars, and they're still going to be in that building, but they just don't own it anymore. It was actually sold for 111 billion yen, which translates to 1.2 billion US dollars.
Yeah, actually, if I am remembering my geography correctly, the Osaki office is one of the biggest offices they have in Japan, which, is still really small, but in Japan that's big because they're all on an island and they can't really expand out. But it's aside from that, it is a really interesting thing that they sold this building, and I'm curious as to why they did it.
Well, it says to consolidate, pretty much. They're trying to get their strengthening its corporate structure and returning to a profit. And this is the second building this year in 2013 that has been sold. They sold a New York City headquarters building for $1.1 billion.
Jeez.
So they just got that money just kind of sitting there.
Yeah, I mean, put it towards PS4. I mean, that's essentially what Sony's trying. They're trying to make it seem like they're having a profit so that their stock doesn't tank. I think. While they're waiting for the PlayStation 4 release, because as soon as PS4 gets released, then they're going to need the money again.
Yeah.
And then just buy some other building.
I guess that would work. Yeah.
I mean, it's all about the appearance of being profitable.
Yeah.
Lots of companies do it, but typically a lot of times they do it mostly because they're about to sell.
Yeah.
Like for example, I'll give an example. You guys probably won't. Well, Banjo, you might. Long's Drugs was a West Coast pharmacy chain that is now owned by CVS.
Yeah.
So the last 4 or 5 years, the last CEO that got put in basically said, we're going to make this company look as profitable as we can so that somebody will buy us. That was all he was in there for. He came in specifically just to have the business be sold.
Oh, and you know what? I remember this now because if I remember correctly, all the employees in there that knew of it were really upset about it.
Well, yeah.
They got upset.
But the main thing that they did was they laid off a lot of the higher paid managers, people that had been career employees, store managers, regional managers, and all of that. Got younger people that would work for less to come in, do those jobs, and so it made it seem a little bit more profitable because they're spending less on their payroll.
Yeah, that's kind of evil, but I mean,
actually,
it's smart.
The same kind of thing. Now, while Walmart isn't going to be bought out anytime soon, Walmart does the same kind of thing where they fire the people that have better qualifications and hire people like
They can pay less.
yeah, like a single mother or something like that. They hire those people to pay less, so they don't have to lose so much money on their employees. Instead, save money and gain money.
Well, there's a lot of businesses that do, shady things like that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm very thankful that I do not work for such a company, but...
Well, you don't know that.
No, I
do.
You
never know that for sure.
Yeah. The company that I work for is fairly transparent as far as their business practices. I'm not going to really say where I work, but it's a warehouse type store that is not owned by Walmart, so that kind of limits it down.
to 2?
Yeah.
And it's on the West Coast, folks. So if you can guess this correctly, we'll send you 500.
It is an international company.
Oh, damn.
We will send you barbecue chicken things if you get it right.
Wait, no, we gotta say this right. Banjo will send you barbecue chicken things, not us.
That he stole from his neighbor.
No.
That he stole from his neighbor.
Asriel will.
No, you stole it from some dude off the road.
Damn it.
You have to go find that guy again.
Let's not try to twist things.
Okay.
Okay, next
Speaking
topic.
of twisting things.
What?
Okay, this is a topic that I put in here that I really wanted to discuss because I love the concept of permadeath in video games.
Ooh.
And for us, it is most relevant in the hardcore mode of single player for Minecraft, where if you die, that's it. It deletes your save.
Yeah.
You have no repercussions. There's nothing. It's done. It's over. You have to start over completely. Other
Unless
games
you are cheating and save it. But
yeah, and you have backup saves, which I admittedly I do for Survivalist Hardcore LP, even though I freaking hate that thing to death. I want to jump off a cliff and just end it. Well, I haven't done an episode of that for probably 3 or 4 weeks now.
You gotta just start with, hey guys, watch this.
Crunch.
And it's just 30 minutes of me staring at the death screen.
Done.
And just half an hour of you just eating chips, just like laughing maniacally.
As the little XP orbs fly around.
See this, bitches? This is me not giving a fuck.
As you watch your stuff despawn in front of you.
Yes.
And not a single fuck was given.
Yeah.
So hardcore modes, other video games that have it include Final Fantasy Tactics. Most recently was XCOM Enemy Unknown, where you build up teams or individuals to include in your party or in your squad, and if that person dies during the course of a mission or during the course of a fight, they're done. That's it. They're gone.
Yeah.
And so it creates sort of a long-lasting investment in the characters, and you get that sort of emotional attachment. For example, I haven't played it, but I know about it. I've already had spoilers for it. The Walking Dead series with Clementine.
Yep.
You become emotionally attached to characters. And that one is also very much like the hardcore, because your decisions ultimately affect who's with you at the end and what their disposition is towards you. So I wanted to get opinions on hardcore modes and the like.
Well, do you want to go first, Grave?
Sure. Personally, I like the idea of the whole hardcore mode because that brings... I mean, for me, honestly, it brings back the whole classic games, like, to go real classic, like the original Mario game.
Oh, yeah.
Where once you're done, you're done. And
you start over.
Yeah. It's games like that, which I have always loved playing. Wherever you can bring in things of the same nature into other games you play, meaning, the hardcore mode, it's awesome. And the whole hardcore thing on its own, whenever I play on hardcore worlds, I play more strategically because I know if I mess up, then, oh well, it's done. Whereas, on the server, well, I die a lot.
I just like taking my sweet ass time and just like planning everything out and being cautious and just looking for everything.
Yeah.
I've played quite a few hardcore games. Two that really come to mind are obviously Minecraft, where I do live streams of hardcore FTB, which is really fun, by the way. And I have Diablo 3. Diablo 3 was a really good game, and I liked it, but before they had the hardcore option, which was introduced, I think, maybe 3 or 4 weeks after the actual release, everybody jumped to level 10 where you unlocked hardcore mode, and everybody started playing in hardcore mode because it was so fun to strategically plan everything out and work things out throughout the game instead of just, oh, I died, let's just come out of this door again and redo it.
Yeah.
And actually, Diablo 3 is a multiplayer game where not very many people played it until the hardcore came out, which I find really interesting because I've heard a lot of people hate hardcore and then a lot of people love it too.
Yeah, it's one of the things you don't get many people in the middle.
Yeah, exactly. It's either love or hate, and whoever thinks, I don't know, better choose a side. So, but yeah, like, I played Diablo 3 addictively for 2 or 3 months. Most of that was in hardcore mode, and when I died, I rage moded, uninstalled the game, and moved on.
God.
Out of curiosity, what level were you when you died?
Oh God. Let me think. It was I was obviously level 10 when hardcore was available to me. I was level 56.
Oh God.
That was unexpected.
One game that just actually came to mind for me is a bunch of the Tom Clancy games.
Oh yeah.
Those are also very not so much a hardcore mode, but that you have a pool of characters that you can choose from in order to complete missions. And if you have certain objectives and a certain character dies, the mission is over. You have to reboard. Because if you need a demolition specialist, you have to have a demolition specialist in a squad, and if that specialist dies, then the mission's over.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if those. I've never lost that many people because I didn't play, the hardest difficulties to determine whether or not there is actually a maximum cap of how many people you got to pull from, or if it's just like, okay, the military. Okay, you look good. You come in, this guy. What's your name? Okay, your name's now A. Gonzalez. I don't know if there's like a limit on how many people you could lose. I think that would make it, okay, you have this pool of 30 players, you have, that many people that in order to complete this entire game.
Yeah, that would be quite interesting and quite rage-inducing. I would guess.
Sure.
Yeah, but actually, to a point, I'm thinking even games like TF2 and those kind of games where if you're playing a game mode where if you die and then you're out for the entire round, like Black Ops or whatever.
Search and destroy.
Yeah,
those
exactly.
Sorts of game types.
Yeah, you're out for the round. It's kind of like a mini hardcore game almost, where it's not developing as much of a personal connection, but it's more, it's just more of a mini hardcore where you can go in and die and then be mad that you died and then wait for half an hour while everybody else plays. So,
That's what you do, isn't it?
I intentionally stayed away from search and destroy because I was never very good at it, and those people were very.
Yep.
Typically, the people that are really good at search and destroy are only good at search and destroy, is what I've found.
Yeah.
I'm a domination guy.
Yeah, I liked sabotage. That was my kind of favorite game type.
Deathmatch. Sometimes.
Yeah. Speaking of first-person shooters, EA is planning on including more microtransactions for future releases.
You made that way too straightforward, just saying.
What do you mean?
You made it too sensical. It has to be like, speaking of fun times, EA is to include more microtransactions in future releases.
Hey. Host, not host. Host, not host. Okay.
People can't see you point.
The sad part is what I was actually pointing at the computer screen when I said not host. EA is saying that people are enjoying and embracing microtransactions, and
that is a lie.
Something that I did not include in this link dump, but I wanted to also mention, is Apple is settling a lawsuit regarding microtransactions.
Really now?
Yeah, they got sued because kids were on like their iPhones or their iPod Touches and everything, and hooked up to their parents' iTunes account. And they were downloading these, freeware games that are like Farmville, where you can buy extras and they cost 99 cents or $1 or whatever. And
which adds up quickly.
Exactly. They kept on having all of these little microtransactions, and the kids don't know that it's actually costing money. So Apple
except for the big thing that says, "Hey, this costs 99 cents. Are you sure?" And they're like, "Yeah, I don't know what that means."
Yeah, exactly. The kid doesn't know what that means, and so a lot of people had a class action lawsuit against Apple to settle this, and Apple's giving out. I guess the settlement is they're going to be giving out $5 iTunes cards to people that say their kid did such microtransactions.
$5.
But they will settle with more for individuals that say that can show proof of more than. So if you can show proof that your kid did $50 worth of microtransactions, Apple will give you $50.
Well, that seems fair
in
enough.
iTunes cards, probably.
Yeah, most likely all of it is going to be in iTunes cards.
Yeah, which is completely worthless.
That's not fair at all to the people, because it was their idea to give their kid a phone, for first thing, that doesn't understand what money is. Secondly, they were the ones who hooked up their iTunes accounts. And third, they were the ones who hooked up their credit cards to their iTunes accounts. Who's to blame here?
Actually, Apple's to blame, because you cannot create an iTunes account without putting in a card number, or at least a parent one. I think you can actually create
you can create a child account. Yeah, you can create a child account, and then you need to have a password put in to buy something. Yeah. It's super simple to stop these things. Why are these parents?
Realize that not everybody's as good with computers as we are, and unfortunately,
it doesn't even take that hard. It's not that hard. iTunes is designed for stupid people.
Banjo, this isn't an argument about how stupid people are.
It is.
This is a discussion about microtransactions. Okay, so EA says that it's going to be doing more microtransactions in a bunch of its games. I don't know exactly how. I have a feeling that for example, I'll take Battlefield 3, that they're going to have specific guns that you can purchase for X dollars. You can pay $2 and get this uber gun, or because they do that right now with Battlefield 3.
Yeah.
That you can fully level up a certain character or a certain trait or something, or a certain gun. You can pay $2 to have all of the gun's attachments unlocked for you without having to go through it all. And I think a lot of people actually already do that, because I run into so many damn people that just have like Uber attachments and everything. I'm getting shot from across the map.
Pay to win.
Yeah, it's what most games are becoming: pay to win games, not pay to play or free to play games. It's you pay to win, and it's an interesting system. It's a good-ish system, except for the fact that
it's a profitable system. That's the key thing. Is that these companies are looking for money. They're looking for more ways to get money out of people, because people now are used to, okay, well, I'm going to buy this game. I'm going to pay $60 for it. It's going to have DLC packages most likely that I'm going to pay another $10 to $15 for. They're just like, okay, well, people are used to this, and how do we get more money from them?
Yeah.
Is unfortunately what it's coming to.
This is why I really like companies like Valve that have TF2, where it's actually had work put into it, into balancing it to a workable, fair, fun to play game. Whereas companies like EA, what does EA make? Battlefield?
Battlefield, a bunch of sports games.
Well, EA does Battlefield, where you pay $2, a really small fee too, and you're a complete OP as hell, unbeatable guy who kills everyone. So it doesn't seem fair.
Well, like Grave was saying, it's play to win, or pay to win rather.
One of the things I just thought of that they could do to kind of compete against the whole pay to win thing is if you pay into your account to get special stuff, that should increase your rank, except, not really, more match you up with higher ranked people. That way, the people who don't pay in, they're actually getting
a premium pool of players, essentially.
More, kind of more like where if you pay in, that's all good, but you're not going to be playing against people who haven't, or the people who haven't.
Okay, for example, Call of Duty has, whenever they release a DLC, they have DLC specific playlists. For Modern Warfare 3 specifically, they had the Elite playlists, which were the people that pre-ordered the $100 version of the game and got the Elite premium codes. They had their own playlist because they had paid the extra.
Yeah, kind of something like that, except, like I was saying, it's... If you say you buy a massive gun set, okay, that's all good, but you're going to be playing against people with the same setups, or who have also paid in to get good stuff. Not people who want to play and are actually playing, I guess you could say, legitly, and not paying into their accounts.
Yeah.
That way, it's not as rage-inducing, I guess the best way to say it.
Well, can I also say that the programming and how the output of matchmaking for most multiplayer first-person shooter games is complete shit to begin with.
Yeah.
So there is no good way for them to be able to do that other than,
if they
you're logging into a completely separate matchmaking service.
Well, they could completely rework it and put work into it, but that they don't.
That
do
requires
that,
effort,
so.
and that pushes back release dates.
Yeah.
I mean, you would think that with how carbon copies some Call of Duty games are, that they could put a little bit more effort into it.
Yeah.
Though I have to say, Black Ops 2, I'm not gonna buy it for sure unless it drops down to like $30, and then I might buy it.
Which will happen after they release Black Ops 3 or whatever the next one comes out with.
Which is well, no, I can go into Walmart and still find Modern Warfare 3 for $60, and that got released. Yeah, exactly.
Well, that is Walmart.
Well, no, but any retailer, any video game retailer, the current years and the previous years are both still $60, regardless.
Yeah,
like Modern Warfare 2 is now down to I think $30, and Modern Warfare is finally considered one of the silver classic games that's at $20. And same with World at War and those sorts.
Problem is, at that point, most people are done playing those games, or you get some of the really older ones, and the servers get shut down.
Well, I tried playing when I did my Homefront Let's Play. I tried playing the multiplayer aspect of it, and there was quite literally only one server that people actually played on.
Yeah. And it wasn't even a official server.
No, it wasn't an official server, and it seemed like it was the same. 15 people were on there plus a mix of people that joined in because it's like, well, I have this game, I might want to try the multiplayer.
Yeah, exactly.
I haven't tried plugging it into playing it on Xbox because I have an Xbox Coffee to see how it goes, but.
Yeah,
it kind of sucks.
It's sad. Yeah. It's sad that old games... I mean, I can understand them shutting down the multiplayer servers after a while because, hey, this game's too old. But it's just sad because there are some games that are really fun multiplayer. But
yeah, and some games that are old but are still played. Like speaking of another addiction of banjos, TF2.
yeah, that's true.
That thing is still going very strong.
Well, yeah, that's because people still play it. Whereas the Xbox version, they've shut down a lot of their servers because no one ever plays it.
Yep. Well, that's because the only reason people play it on PC is because they're friggin' hats, and they gotta increase the size of their e-peen with their hat collections.
and I would admit to buying a few keys and opening some crates, but not nearly as addictive as some people.
And were we talking about Valve not doing microtransactions?
No. That's not what I was talking about. I was saying they do them, but they balance them. It is like you buy something for $2 and it's uber gun. Everything's balanced to where the sniper guns have slightly different traits, but they all basically have the same power and the same level of OP-ness as any other. It's a very balanced game.
I have to admit, I kind of would want to get the bow and arrow for the sniper. That seems kind of neat.
That thing is so fun. Just the Huntsman is the best gun ever.
We keep on jumping off of topics and stuff.
Yeah.
But jumping off topics.
Really?
Well,
oh God.
Let's re-rail this train.
I quit.
We're gonna attempt.
Toddler functionally cured of HIV. I saw this on the news yesterday, if you can call CNN news. That a toddler, about nearly 2 years old, was born to an HIV positive mother, was born HIV positive. Day 2 of life, they started it on a certain treatment. I don't know what the actual treatment was.
It says high doses of 3 antiviral drugs within 30 hours after her birth.
Took the drugs for 18 months and then stopped taking them. And then during a doctor's visit, the doctor tested it and found no HIV and had it confirmed by several others and confirmed that the baby was in fact born with HIV. And it says functional, and I say functionally cured. That's the term that they used in the news when I saw it, because there is still a micro presence.
Yeah, if they do ultra sensitive tests, they can still pick it up, but it's at the point where it's not going to kill them.
It's not going to kill them, and it's not transferable.
Exactly.
It basically
may as well not be there, yeah.
Exactly.
It basically makes the disease infertile.
That's it. Is largely what it is. And I think this is a huge thing for people that are HIV positive.
Now, unfortunately, this has to be done to babies, not to fully grown adults.
Correct.
The thing is, now that we have a
baseline,
I guess,
essentially.
Yeah, a baseline's the best way to say it. Now we have something. Now that we know that it is possible, that's gonna. Well, I feel kind of bad for the kid because they're probably gonna do a bunch of tests on it now.
Yeah, congratulations! You're now a human pincushion. But
that can be helpful because then they aren't afraid of needles like I am. I am terrified of needles.
I'm not afraid of needles, but I've the last time I went and got my blood drawn for work, I absolutely hated it. I had a registered nurse come in to draw my blood, and I got stabbed. I say stabbed 4 times in my left arm and 3 times in my right arm, alternating, once back and forth. Could not get to a vein. I said, "Can I please be sent to a tech upstairs?" I go upstairs to the tech's office. The tech goes to draw my blood out of my left arm and does it the first try. And any time that I go to get my blood drawn, I always tell them, I don't mean offense, but can I please have my blood drawn by the tech?
Yeah.
You see, I had whenever I have to have my blood drawn, I have to have 3 nurses come in and hold me down.
Wow.
I am terrified of needles. It's kind of like spiders. I hate them. They should be burned.
Stevie, if you draw any of this, please put like needles surrounding him.
I'm just gonna give him a box full of needles and spiders.
Can we put spiders inside of the needles?
Yes, we're gonna inject him with spiders.
I hate.
You now have a literal spider blood.
I'm not Spider-Man. Bow to me.
You have 24 hours to live.
The spiders are now eating your heart, literally from the inside out.
I get the feeling, Banjo, you can feel spiders crawling under your skin at this point, can't you?
No. But I will tonight. But I'm trying to fall asleep.
Speaking of spiders, there's actually one on my ceiling right now.
Well, no. That's not what I'm scared of. I'm scared of spiders touching me. I hate it when spiders touch me.
Oh, I lost him. He's gone.
Oh, you lost your friend.
At least it's not like that giant Australian spider.
Oh, God.
The horrible part is, I'm moving to Texas, which has the biggest tarantulas in the U.S. ever.
Good to know.
I am terrified of that.
And soon to be replacing Banjo Bates on the podcast.
And we'll hear the scream around the world.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Okay, last topic. I don't want to get on this topic of religion, like talking about the religions, but it's big news, and I think that we should talk about it. The Pope elections, essentially, the Papal vote. They're hoping, one of the articles that I said, they're hoping to have it done and a new Pope instated prior to Easter.
I find it amazing that the old Pope, he was what, Benedict or something?
Benedict the 16th.
Yes, I was right. Okay. He resigned. That was the first time a Pope has resigned in
600 years.
Yes, 600 years.
Typically, popes live are Pope for the rest of their lives. They don't.
Yeah.
They up until their death. John Paul II was the Pope prior to Benedict the 16th.
Now, no offense, but they do get elected at a pretty old age to begin with, so they aren't actually Pope for
all that long.
Their entire lives, but.
No.
They pretty old.
Yeah, and something that I haven't looked to see what the requirements are for becoming Pope.
Well, you have to be Catholic.
Well, no shit. You do have to be a cardinal. I do know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but to become a cardinal, I think you have to be a priest. Which you have to be in the Vatican. I know that.
Must be present in order to win.
No, you don't have to be present in order to win. You just have to be there at some point. You just have to show up once and be like, "Hey, I'm here."
Wow.
But I did find out from reading the article that in order to be one of the electors, the people that's doing a voting, you have to be a cardinal that is under the age of 80.
So, that narrows it down to what, like 7?
No, it actually is a significant portion are under 80. But almost a quarter. It's like, I think they said almost 150 cardinals will be in attendance at the Vatican. Only 115 will be voting.
Actually, I just looked up what the requirements to be Pope are.
Okay.
And while there are no formal ones, well, the only formal one is it has to be a Catholic male, which is kind of funny. But
religion is sexist.
Yeah. But the informal rules are you have to be at least a cardinal, which I think is the highest thing under Pope, if I remember right.
Yes.
There's no formal age requirement, but cardinals are rarely under 50, and actually the youngest one there at the moment is 57. So, yeah. Then they have to be able to speak at least 3 languages.
Well, that's not entirely hard, but
you're
one of them
looking at
does
Wiki
have to be
Answers,
Latin.
aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Because that was the first article that popped up when I looked for it.
Yes.
Person who would be Pope must speak at least 3 languages. Latin, which of course, Italian, that makes sense.
They're in Italy.
Yeah, exactly. English, Spanish, French, Portuguese, and German are all especially good for a potential pope.
Yeah.
I personally do not think that there will ever be an American pope.
Oh, I seriously hope not. I personally hope not.
They were talking to a cardinal from New York when I was watching the news a couple weeks back.
God,
it was like a week or a couple of days after Benedict said that he was going to resign. And they were just like, do you think that you would be the next pope? And he was all, I hope not.
I can imagine a pope with a New York accent.
With a New York accent. How about, even better, a Boston accent? Okay, and I'm going to one-up myself, a southern drawl. Like, imagine King of the Funk being elected pope, like that same sort of accent.
I want to see this.
Is Jeff Foxworthy Catholic? Can we get him up there? Can we get him up there? I think it would be great to see something like that. I think that I would probably go back to being Catholic if we had a redneck pope.
Yes.
And then once they die, you're just like, screw this.
I'm going back.
It's not worth it anymore.
I'm going back to an old joke, which is, I am part of the largest religion in the world, raised Catholic. Because a lot of kids that are raised Catholic typically don't stay Catholic.
Yep.
I personally don't care for religion in the first place.
Nor I.
Same.
But we're not going to get into that. We're not going to get into that because
you didn't hear any of that.
You didn't hear it.
Wipe your brain.
There, now you know where to cut.
Well, where am
I? Boy.
All right, I do want to do a question section, and I think it's just going to be questions being asked back and forth between us of things that are on our minds. The first one that I want to ask, and this is one that I've heard from other places, this is called the checkpoint question. In video games, there are in most games, there's checkpoints. You get to a certain point in the game, and if you screw up beyond that, then you revert to that checkpoint. So, for example, like if you're playing Call of Duty, you're shooting up, you get to a checkpoint where it's a safe area, and then you move into another one, and you kill all civilians, and, fuck up and screw up the mission on purpose, and then you can just go back to the checkpoint and start over as if nothing had happened.
Yeah.
If someone walked up to you and said, this is your checkpoint, you have 1 hour, you can do whatever you want. If you die, you revert to the checkpoint. At the end of 1 hour, you, no matter what, regardless of the circumstances, revert back to the checkpoint, even if you want the circumstances to stay. No one other than yourself that is involved with the checkpoint will remember any of those events in that hour happening. What would you do in that 1 hour?
Sounds like a lot of rape.
That beats my answer.
I'm just saying, with the majority of the population, it's gonna happen.
I mean, I was gonna say I was gonna have like a standoff with cops, like while I'm robbing a bank or something. But rape just completely smashes mine out of the water.
I really want to go back to the tape and I'm going to put a timer, hopefully, if I remember to do this. Put a timer between the time that I finish the question and Banjo says a lot of rape.
Immediately, he was like, rape.
Yeah, it's like, it can be measured in milliseconds.
You didn't even have to think about it. Just screamed out rape.
Sounds fair. I anticipated this question because I saw it on the Google Doc.
Oh man.
But I am serious. With the demographic of the United States and with how many people are raped legitimately every year, just think, if nobody remembered it and you can't get caught, what would you do?
Banjo.
Well, ultimately, a lot of the answers should be, are going to end up being something that is illegal or immoral.
Mm-hmm.
So, being both.
Yeah.
I'll back in a minute, guys.
All right.
He's gonna get his ass off.
I intentionally opt out of this question as I do not want to be arrested.
Well, it is just theoretical.
No, one of the things that I actually had thought about was, and this one is kind of strange, but I would commit suicide.
Really?
Just to see what happens.
Huh.
I mean, because
Never
there's
thought of
going to
that
be
one.
that little instant when, you know, for example, you know, you eat a bullet. There's going to be that little bit of time, the load screen, if you will, between your death and the checkpoint going back. And I mean, I'm sure I would do something in that full hour and occupy that time.
Right.
You know, I'd go into my boss's office and just shit on his desk, you know, something along those lines.
And then you don't know, I'm not going to go there. Sorry.
And, well, also remember that you could be at any place, and somebody walks up to you and says, "This is your checkpoint. You have 1 hour."
That's not the place I was thinking of, but okay.
School, and you only have that 1 hour. Yeah. But at the end of that 1 hour, I think I would kill myself. Or at least try. I'm not fully certain that I could kill myself, simply because in the back of my mind, I would of course think, what if this is bullshit?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you would have gotten fired from your job, you would have raped 30 people. I mean, there's nothing really to live for anymore if it's fake, so...
Wait, question.
Yeah?
I gotta point something out that you just said, Banjo. How are you gonna rape 30 people in an hour? That's pretty damn quick for you, man.
That's... You know what I meant.
On the record, Banjo said
first you have to snatch them all up.
Exactly.
Tell them all to bend over.
It's like, all of you line up on the wall. All right, bend over. Drop your pants.
By the time I get to the end, it will be over.
Best orgasm ever. It's like, checkpoint.
Checkpoint. Oh god, I can't wait to hear what Grave has to say.
He's still going.
That should be the new quintessential orgasm thing to yell out during orgasm. Checkpoint.
I just reached my checkpoint.
And then she says, "I'm not even close to mine."
Sounds
like a person.
Where are you?
Oh my god.
Okay, now follow-up question to that: if instead of 1 hour you had 12 hours, what would change?
A lot more people.
I had 12 hours. I would try tons of things.
But remember, if you die, so like for example, your bank robbery, Stevie, if you die, then you revert back to the checkpoint and you don't get the rest of that time. So if you die in the first 5 minutes because you get hit by a bus, you don't get the rest of that time.
I have to be careful. I'll be running away and I'll see Banjo on the side of the road just raping people. It's like, hey, what are you doing?
It's like one of those like
I would pick up my headset right then.
The new question is instead of 1 hour, 12 hours.
Grave hasn't answered the question.
A lot more people.
I want to hear what he has to say for 1 hour.
Hold on a second.
All right. He would hold his seconds. Interesting.
I'd go for my first, but I mean that's just me.
Yeah.
The sad thing is that Grave's gonna listen to this section of the podcast after the fact, and he's gonna be like, "You guys are seriously fucked up."
Hey! We can't be any worse than what he thinks of.
This is true.
I mean, maybe Azrael, but
yeah.
Okay, maybe me too. But
for myself, if the time allotted changed, I don't know. I think that it would be more exotic people. I would be massacring or whatever.
Oh, lovely.
I'd be doing a bunch of extreme sports like skydiving.
Then of course your parachute breaks right as you're trying skydiving
would be
first.
difficult, but because you'd have to convince somebody to take you into plane and let you jump out without having because it would take you 9 hours to go through the whole freaking course of okay, this is how we do jumping.
I would just like hold them hostage and be like, fly up now.
Wow. All right, so I'm actually back now.
Okay.
Ironically enough, with the whole needle conversation we had, that was a call from the Red Cross trying to get my blood.
Huh.
Yeah, the curse of having O negative.
Yeah, my mom has that same problem.
Anyhow,
even if I could save a life, I wouldn't do it because I'm terrified of needles. So
Yeah, we'd have to knock you out. Okay, Grave, you have less than 5 minutes to answer the question.
Oh boy, which one do you want?
The checkpoint question. You have 1 hour. Did you hear what the whole question was?
Yeah, I get that. All right, I have 1 hour. Checkpoint, die, go back to it. I think I would just go insane.
Rape a lot of people.
Banjo, I know that's the only way you're ever gonna get any, but no.
The sad thing is, you're probably right.
Oh, that's not nice.
Oh.
I'm sure you'll find somebody gluten intolerant that loves you too.
That's like not exactly what I'm talking about, but okay.
No, I don't care. Anyways, Grave.
You never see my face. I forgot about that.
Banjo, shut up. Grave, answer the question now.
I would go nuts. I would probably get rid of the people who annoy me, and I wanted them to be silent for a long time. So I would probably do that.
That's not going nuts. It's getting to your senses.
And by that I mean murderous rampage.
Yeah, that's not going nuts. Killing people that are annoying is a completely normal thing, isn't it?
Okay,
now 12 hours. What did we do?
Thanks, guys, for watching the podcast. We're gonna end it on a high note. If you guys have questions that you would like to submit to the podcast, leave them in the comments below. If you guys have any topic suggestions, leave them in the comments or send us direct messages on YouTube. Guys, final comments on our way out?
Don't rape a lot of people.
Fair enough.
Why did I know Banjo was going to say something about rape?
Because it's been a tangent for like, I don't know, 20 minutes now.
If you find a big spider, send it to me so I can give it to Banjo.
Live on the other side of the freaking country.
Hey, I'll find you. I will hunt you down.
Grave, final thoughts.
Later.
Whose fucking phone is that?
Sorry, it's a business call.
It's the guns for his checkpoint. Alright guys, once again, thanks for watching. Subscribe so you can get to our weekly podcasts in your
Wait, hold on a second.
What?
Thanks for watching?
Well,
Thanks for watching?
Yeah, most people probably aren't going to watch the little graphics.
Mind blown.
This is a podcast that is being posted to YouTube, so technically there is things to watch. I'm going to put in the link dump or in the picture that you guys are going to be seeing right now. Please look at the screen. Look at the screen. It's a skeleton riding a ghast. I'll show you guys that picture later.
Oh god.
Okay, that's enough. Guys, thank you guys for participating. People watching, listening, send us questions or send us topics to discuss.
And thanks for watching. Tune in next week.
Subscribe. See you guys next week. Peace out.